good day to everyone. My name is Raymond Goh. I run the system engineering team for Veeam Software in the Asia and Japan region, part of the overall APJ theater. Thanks for joining in, and we got a very interesting topic to talk about today with regards to resilient organization. Let's get into the meat of my topic. So as the topic speaks, modernizing your data protection is a key need for many organizations right now as we move into a highly resilient organization. So when we talk about a resilient organization, what I'm referring to will be more towards a data-driven world. We are in a highly data-driven world whereby resilient organization will need to achieve certain aspects of goals that we've stated over here. And to begin with the end objective in mind, to build that data resilient business that you're aiming for, I have what I call the triple A's or the 3A standard to achieve that data resiliency. Firstly will be data availability, followed by data agility that enables and drives your business acceleration. So there goes on the 3A. Keep that closely in mind because the whole thing about modernizing your data protection is to provide the business objectives of the 3A that we are talking about over here. And that will also be in a way to transform how IT organization is managing and leveraging on data as we move forward. So let's get into the specific details, and I'll show you a couple of trends, right? So kind of back into the short future of 2020, just last year is a year of unknowns, it's a year of challenges, it's a year of changes. So the statistics that we have found, top left-hand corner over there, there is an 11% growth in the global economic uncertainty. So every organization faces that. Uncertainties does bring about an impact into driving how organizations think about the IT direction differently. And on the top right, the second numbers over there, a high 96%, I would say 9 out of 10 organizations. I'm not too sure how to put that into numbers. It's probably almost close to 10 out of 10 organizations that the pandemic situation has significantly accelerated the cloud adoption as compared to on-prem management. So we are looking into a hybrid cloud or a multi-cloud adoption, and there's a huge acceleration into that multi-cloud one. Bottom left, cyber threat has always been around before pandemic, but it has a 7 times growth during the pandemic period in year 2020 because of a lot more remote endpoints that we have to work from home, a distributed system that does increase the surface area of attacks as mentioned in the slide over here. All right, a distributed environment as compared to what your IT is usually familiar with in a core data center, everything is centralized. Last but not least, 58% of the data cannot be recovered. I'm going to touch on a lot more into the data recoverability. Imagine organization, half of them struggle to keep up to pace on the acceleration of data platform. At the same time, with the increase and spike in the ransomware attack, your last line of defense of data cannot be recovered. So that's a very critical situation that we need to handle. So let's do a reality check now, right? Moving forward into 2021 and the year to come by, right? So there are certain things that we are expecting. So the reality of a backup in today's world, let's get back to the basic of, in our data protection reports, we found that there are 37% of all the backup jobs fails. Imagine that you're doing daily monitoring of the backup jobs, and slightly more than 1/3 of a job is failing. I think that is unacceptable because you are tracking, you're monitoring your job. There are backup administrator or operators that's looking at the job, and you still have 1/3 of a job that's failing. That is something that can be prevented. That's something that you can manage and rectify it. Okay? If you're not doing so, that is a big problem. Combining that to, let's talk about restore. Yes. Okay. Let's say I settle for 1/3 of my job failing. I have 2/3 of a job that is still successful, right? But in the 2/3 of the job, 63% of the job, 34%. So again, another 1/3 90% of the successful job that I have, restoration fails. The crunching moment when I need to restore data, it fails 1/3 of the time. Combining that together, it has a huge number of more than half of your job of recovery fails. Okay, and that is what the modern data protection is trying to address to help you achieve that 100% recoverability. And a note that 23% of the servers will have at least one unplanned outages. That is only one. You might have multiple unplanned outages, which will require you to do recovery, and your recovery fails at 58%, a very high percentage. And what is let's move forward to what's the promise of a modern data protection that we're looking at, right? To build a data resilient business that we are aiming for. So to start off with, the top left-hand corner, we need to modernize our backup and recovery. We need to make sure that our current system can meet the recovery SLA. It has to be fully simplified and automated. And one note over there, break free from the legacy backup system. We are aware an organization face a lot of challenges still maintaining the legacy backup system. That is not for the modern world. That's not for the modern hybrid and multi-cloud. When I talk about the hybrid and cloud, we cannot forget about talking on the hyperscalers on the right top over there. There's a huge acceleration of Office 365 adoption. At the same time, there's a lot of cloud workloads in the hyperscalers of AWS, Azure, and Google. To make sure that you can move confidently or you can migrate confidently whatever of your workloads that is suitable to go into the cloud. At the same time, you know that your data is well protected even though moving into the cloud. I would like to stress upon, we are not saying that all the workloads are moving into the hyperscalers. There will still be workloads on-prem. You're talking about hybrid cloud environment, and the consistency of your recovery SLA has to apply whichever space you're in. It could be the cloud, it could be on-prem, it could be a trusted service provider. And on the bottom left, right, ransomware, I keep nagging on that, but I think it's a thought that has to be always on our mind, or at the top of our mind, whereby we need to detect, we need to protect, and we need to recover when needed. So this is the 3 plans that we, when it comes to ransomware or cyber threat attack, proactively detecting anomalies, protecting your data from ransomware. Of course, the one key objective of ransomware is not to pay a ransom. That's where the recover, the last line of defense, is really important. With measures like immutable backup storage, where your backup storage are not affected by the ransomware, air gap scenarios, as well as it's always been on a constant testing to make sure that your data or your backup data to be specific is ransomware free and antivirus free and malware free. Last but not least, it's a hot topic that every organization is looking at: the cloud native applications, containerized application, microservices with the likes of Kubernetes native. Data protection in the Kubernetes world is paramount now as you are moving into this emerging technology. It's in a rapid deployment. It's faster than ever in your legacy deployment or infrastructure, or even much faster, multiple times faster than what you see from virtualization that's growing through this. Kubernetes will be multiple times faster, right? So protecting your modern application is equally as important as your legacy, as your on-prem, as your cloud native, as your virtualization workloads. So what's the next step, right? So we have heard about the 3 A's, the AAA standard of data agility, data availability that drives a business acceleration. I'll leave you with the 4 C's for the next step to achieve the objective that we set forth at the beginning of the presentation. Firstly, the first C, cloud. Draw on the cloud, have a very flexible, self-independent and reliable data availability, as well as backup and recovery in mind, that will map into business objective that we're looking at. Second C, enhance your capabilities in your business by making sure that your employees can draw data insights from your data protection system. With new technologies that's emerging, with new technologies that's evolved, you can do a lot more from your backup system than just for recovery. You can leverage on the data in the backup repository to connect into your data analytic world, get insight into the business, increase the capabilities from a business standpoint. The third C, create a culture that's very open-minded, that's adaptable, more than just technology's acceptance, but also people that's in your organization to embrace new technology with a culture that's open-minded. And last but not least, the fourth C, foster a sense of confidence in business digital capabilities. So that combines everything from people perspective to technology perspective to driving business, the confidence of digitizing, the confidence of moving the cloud, the confidence of digital transformation has to build upon a very strong data foundation. So with that, it's essential that organizations are looking at the steps and the moving forward technology with a very strong data management foundation, ensure that your digital investment delivers the right returns that you expect. And in turn, create an intelligent and a lot more successful business. Thank you very much.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.